we're developing a society because of all of these different toxins known to affect brain function. Being a society that not only has a lot more people of lower IQ, but a lot fewer people of higher IQ. In other words, a dumbing down, a chemical dumbing down of society. So everyone's sort of mediocre. That leaves them dependent on government because they can't excel. We have these people of lower IQ who are totally dependent. Then we have this mass of people who are going to believe anything they're told because they can't really think clearly. And very few people of very high IQ who have good cognitive function who can figure this all out. And that's what they want.
But it's no longer a theory. What I'm about to say is fact. The secret organizations of the world power elite are no longer secret. They have planned and are now leading us into a one-world communist government.
Cell phone users beware, Big Brother may be listening. The Federal Bureau of Investigation can now hear everything you say, even when the cell phone is turned off. I know it sounds kind of out there, but using your phone's tracking device, authorities can now activate the microphone inside the dreaded thing, allowing them to eavesdrop on you and your conversations.
You have other interested parties. For example, the US government demanded last year that Google hand over information on what people were searching for. So even if Google aren't abusing personal information, that doesn't stop other people coming in and trying to get access to that information.
At this mall in St. Louis, Missouri, a company is putting cameras inside ads to give advertisers information on who is stopping to watch the ads and for how long.
In Britain, there is no escaping them. More than 4 million security cameras, seen but not heard until now.
Morning, you are being monitored by CCTV.
You can buy the argument that this is all for our own good. It's for a better Britain, it's for a safer individual, a safer society, a more manageable society. You can buy that argument if you want. I don't, because what I believe about surveillance is that ultimately it is used against individuals, not for them.
Hidden CCTV cameras are being installed inside homes in London to film antisocial behaviour outside. Croydon Council says the cameras are being used to gather evidence on groups of youths who've been making life miserable for residents. Civil rights campaigners, however, say it's a further step to a Big Brother society.
Want a photo with a smiling Bobby? Think twice. From now on, anyone could be arrested for taking pictures of the police, the armed forces, or the intelligence services.
Small box on the dashboard, a tiny antenna on the trunk. Not GPS or mobile communications, but a system to tax you for the miles you drive.
I think it's a bad idea. I don't want to know where I'm at.
If it happens, computer chips would be placed in cars, and the government would track drivers with GPS-like systems, logging how much each car is driven and where.
Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control again. Here's American Gladiators. Watch this. Shut up. Go back to bed, America. Here's American Gladiators. Here is 56 channels of it. Watch these pituitary retards bang their fucking skulls together and congratulate you on living in the land of freedom. Here you go, America. You are free to do as we tell you. You are free to do as we tell you.
First of all, the closed-circuit surveillance cameras are just about everywhere here in the UK, so society here is a little bit more accepting of these things, but now they're at schools, not just in the common areas, the corridors outside, but right in the classrooms. As you noted, some 100 schools are now using these cameras. The hundreds more schools here in the UK are looking at it. As for the US, Martha, we were in touch with the national headquarters of the PTA. They say if people want it, it's coming your way as well.
Putting pilotless drone aircraft, here's one, through their paces in the hope that they can tackle antisocial behaviour. These spy helicopters are equipped with CCTV and they can keep watch over football matches and trouble hotspots.
Government taking a big new step, looking to build a huge database of people's physical characteristics. The FBI is taking on $1 billion project to gather fingerprints, palm patterns, even digital pictures of faces. Eventually, it could expand to include iris patterns, face shape patterns, scars, even information about how you walk and talk. It's called biometrics, and it could change the face of law enforcement.
But we were definitely listening to Americans who had nothing to do with terrorism.
Kinney says she intercepted, recorded, and transcribed conversations. And former Intercept operator Folk says some highly private calls were passed around like office jokes.
And at times when I was told, hey, check this out, there's some good phone sex, or there's some pillow talk, pull up this call, it's really funny, you'd go check it out. And you would listen. It was there, stored the way you look at songs on your iPod.
Fox News reports that a new system from the Department of Homeland Security searches your body for nonverbal cues that predict whether you mean harm. Well, how does it do this? Well, for one thing, it detects your body temperature and heart rate to see if you might be a ball of knots under your cool and collected exterior. Meanwhile, a scanning system checks your face for clues to your mood and intentions. Officials claim it's sophisticated enough to tell the difference between a nervous flyer and a terrorist.
From our consultation from a senior police officer, now retired, that they were aware that sometimes officers chose to arrest precisely in order to obtain DNA samples so that the profile could go on the database and not for any other justification in the investigation.
God damn it, an entire generation pumping gas, waiting tables, slaves with white collars, advertising has us chasing cars and clothes, working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need. We're the middle children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no Great War, no Great Depression. Our Great War is a spiritual war. Our Great Depression is our lives. We've all been raised on television to believe that one day we'd all be millionaires and movie gods and rock stars. But we won't. We're slowly learning that fact. And we're very, very pissed off.
All right, what do you think of tracking high school kids with a GPS device? This isn't so they don't get lost. This is so they don't skip school. That's the goal of a new project being launched in Dallas this fall. The program is aimed at high-risk students who have a serious truancy problem.
Spying on your children. Would you tag your child with a computer chip? It is happening in Rhode Island, where a school is putting tracking devices in its student backpacks. It's being done to grade schoolers. The school says this device will only be turned on when the children are on the school bus.
The Department of Homeland Security calling on firefighters to take on a new role in the war on terror. The idea to be the eyes for the U.S. government when they're inside a home. Now, unlike police officers, firefighters don't need a warrant to go into private houses. And critics say that's where things get sticky.
But the truth is, there is something terribly wrong with this country, isn't there?
You designed it, sir. You wanted it foolproof. You told me every television in London.
Cruelty and injustice, intolerance, depression. And where once you had the freedom to object, to think and speak as you saw fit, you now have censors and systems of surveillance coercing your conformity and soliciting your submission.
We need cameras.
How did this happen? Who's to blame? Well, certainly there are those who are more responsible than others, and they will be held accountable. But again, truth be told, if you're looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror. I know why you did it. I know you were afraid. Who wouldn't be? War, terror, disease. There were a myriad of problems which conspired to corrupt your reason and rob you of your common sense. Fear got the best of you, and in your panic you turned to the now High Chancellor Adam Sutler. He promised you order, he promised you peace, and all he demanded in return was your silent, obedient consent.
President Obama today proposed something new, something called prolonged detention. Pre-crime is where people are arrested and incarcerated to prevent crimes that they have not yet committed.
A think tank in the UK says too many kids are what's making the planet worse, saying large families, anything over 2 children really, should be frowned upon as an environmental no-no. The UK, in fact, has negative growth. I think Canada does too. That still, families in our rich countries shouldn't have more than 2 kids.
Watch out, a local cop could pull you over and take your blood. No, I'm not kidding. A new federal program could make it legal for a cop to draw your blood if they suspect that you've been drunk driving. So many people are calling this program outrageous. How could a cop take your bodily fluid before you've ever been proven guilty of anything?
A bunch of garbage, liberal, Democrat, conservative, Republican. It's all there to control you. Two sides of the same coin. Too
management teams, getting for control, the CEO job of Slavery Incorporated. The truth is out there in front of you, but they lay out this buffet of lies. I'm sick of it, and I'm not going to take a bite out of it. Do you got me? Resistance is not futile. We're going to win this thing. Humankind is too good. We're not a bunch of underachievers. We're going to stand up, and we're going to be human beings. We're going to get fired up about the real things, the things that matter. Creativity and the dynamic human spirit that refuses to submit. Well, that's it. That's all I got to say. It's in your court.